Hello friends, welcome back to another episode of Yarn Yapping. Don't know what number we're at. We're doing a sock recap today and I'm very excited. Actually, first of all, have a root of me. I didn't introduce myself. I'm Jordan, if you're new here. If you're not new, welcome back. Grab a snack, grab a beverage. We're about to get yapping about my socks! I just cleaned the studio today, did a big old clean out. I got this adorable little box. It's actually very heavy because it's full of socks at the thrift store and it's so cute and precious. It's got like a little triangle knob handle. Someone made this. It's handmade, there's no markings on it, and it's full of socks. And I figured we could go through all the socks today. There is some mismatched socks in here and we'll get into that. I had to put this down, it's very heavy, but I think we'll prop it up here. I don't know, that's kind of cute. I'm gonna try and do this in chronological order. It's not historically, factually 100% correct. It's a ballpark chronological order, and I have patterns and I'll talk about the yarn, all the good stuff. Let's get into my first socks. The very first pair of socks I ever knit, they're way too big. They fit like a slipper. So for reference, I have size 7.5 feet. If that means anything to you, and these I would say fit like a size 9 shoe or sock. Love how they turned out. I actually wear them all the time and I was so hard on myself at first for how big they came out, but also this was my first time knitting a sock and it's a functional sock, so whatever. And I was using superwash wool. Superwash wool stretches a little bit more when you block it, just part of it is what it is, and these blocked out bigger than I thought they were going to be. This yarn is from Sea Panda Yarns. I'm unsure if they are still in business, unfortunately. My old roommate got me these when she was in Alberta. Calgary, Edmonton, somewhere over there in the Yeehaw province. I remember seeing, maybe I'm not thinking of them. Maybe I'm thinking of a different indie dyer, but I do believe that they closed their store this year. If not, Sea Panda Yarns, I'm gonna link them down below. Am I too far away? Y'all, let me know your feedback as a viewer down below. How are we feeling about the framing? Are we loving it, hating it? The sun is not out. It's not pouring rain today, so there is some natural light in here, which I'm thrilled about. Anyways, socks number 1. Should I rate them? Should I give them a rating? I'm gonna give these a 7 out of 10. Second pair of socks I ever knit. These, whoop, almost dropped them. This is the same pattern. I didn't say who the pattern was. Did I say what the pattern was? Oops. Both my first pair of socks and my second pair of socks were the same pattern. This is the Simple DK Shortie socks by Woolfield Studio. I've got my pattern book down here. I print my shit out so I can write notes and all that good stuff. Simple DK Shortie socks. They're a very easy beginner sock. Again, everything will be listed down below. All the patterns, all the yarns, everything I can link, I'll be linking. This is my second pair, and obviously they're taller in comparison to socks number 1. And I used the Patton's DK wool, DK knitting, I think it's called DK knitting. I have some over there somewhere. It is a discontinued yarn. I got it at the thrift store. I'm actually making a cabled vest out of this right now. If you saw my winter knitting plans video, I was talking about making some cables and I have cast them on and I'm very happy with them. But I love this yarn. It's just a nice wool. It's a non-superwash. It feels great. I wore these socks a lot in the spring as like a pop of color. I don't know where y'all are located. I live in the Pacific Northwest. Canada, not the US, I'd like to clarify that. And we do socks and sandals a lot. I know it's like you're not supposed to, I don't care. I do socks and sandals all the time and I wore these tons. I have these pink, like pastel pink open toe leather sandals from Doc Martens, I think. And I wore these tons with the pink open toes and like a yellow sock. Super cute. I give these a 9 out of 10. Because they don't make my heart explode. And I do have some socks that make my heart explode. If you've never knit a sock and you don't understand the feeling I'm describing, I challenge you to knit a sock and there's cat fur on these. I know this is coconut and captain hair. I can see it. I know they're damn fur when I see it. I just suggest knitting a sock, moral of the story. All right, sock number 3, 9 out of 10, love these. These next 3 socks, unfortunately, are just singular socks, and we'll get into why for all of them. I believe I started with this sock. This is some orange hand-dyed wool from JackassCollective. It was just a fun, I think I did this for Halloween of 2022, dare I say, and it was left over. No one snagged it, so you snooze, you lose. I'll knit it myself. And the blue is it was this giant cone of yarn that I got at the thrift store. I believe the brand was Bramwell. It's discontinued. I looked high and low for it because to this day, this is my favorite sock yarn I've ever used. So of course it's discontinued. But there's also cat fur in these. This must be babushka fur because I've never worn these out of the house, and it's short and white. Let's analyze the cat fur on my socks today. That's the video. This is Bramwell Rose 4-ply, I believe, and I have some left. I have this yarn sitting over there. I can literally see the orange on the blue. I just didn't knit up a second sock because this blue is held double. It's a fingering weight, very light fingering weight cone of yarn, so I held it double, and then the orange is a DK weight, and I just didn't skein up enough held double. Do you know what I mean? So I just have the single cone, and I haven't gone back to wind up a held double ball, which is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous reason to not finish a sock. This is like a year-old sock. This is the same pattern, the Simple DK Shortie by Woolfield Studio. I just extended the leg portion. So this is what the pattern tells you to do. You do it's kind of hard to see because it's black, but there's like inch of ribbing, and then you go right into the heel flap. It's right there. But with these ones, I just added some leg and then went into the heel flap. I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10 because someone told me it looked like a certain sports team. Blue and orange are complementary colors. They look great together, but it's also very common sports team colors. And someone said it looked like a team. What sport? I don't know. And that stuck with me. I'm like, I look at this sock and I'm like, oh, sports, which is stupid. I should knit another one of these soon. Singular sock number 2 is, again, the Simple DK Shortie by Woolfield Studio. I feel like I'm too far away, but I don't want to be like, I feel ridiculous. I'm holding up socks. This one, again, I followed the pattern exactly as it was written. This was some yarn that I hand dyed for my mom. These were meant to be for my mom. This sock was supposed to be on my mother's foot, but I made it way too small. I think that I highlighted the wrong size. Like, I think I just automatically highlighted the number because this fits me. I just think I autopilot cast on the sock and I didn't double count the stitches. My bad. I'm the problem here once again. This was some yarn, that I dyed for my mom. This was for Mother's Day, whenever Mother's Day was last, and she loves them. I'm actually gonna take this sock apart because the pair of socks that I actually gave my mom, she wore them for a couple weeks, month, whatever, and then washed them for the first time, followed my wash instructions to the T, and there's a massive hole in them. And I'm just gonna blame it on the fact that this is merino wool. I have been hating on merino a lot lately, and this just fuels my validation for that. I have to frog this sock because my mom's sock has a hole in it, and I used I don't know what, oh, it's right here. I made the Party Girl bag by the Knit Edit ? I believe that's who made this, and you can see there is some pink in there, and I was using up the scraps of the pink. Shouldn't have done that because now I need them to mend. And this inspired another thought. Actually, I saw this on Instagram, I think. Someone has like a fiber journal of all of their socks, the patterns they use, the yarns they use, but they also have a little bit of scrap yarn with all that information. So if they need to mend their socks, which you most likely will have to mend hand knit socks at some point, there's scrap yarn there for them. They can just flip through their little journal and find it. And I was like, I have to do that. So I've been saving scraps of all of these. I just haven't put the journal together. Long story long, I have to frog this sock because it's merino. 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. My neighbors are like, oh, she's yelling about wool again. Here we have sock number 3 that does not have a match. And I love this sock, and I'm really bummed that I flopped on Yarn Chicken with this because as you can see, it's all purples and neon greens, and I ran out of Yarn Chicken. I lost Yarn Chicken so bad. But I think this sock is too big. Like, in comparison to other socks that fit me, well, I guess maybe not. Like a tiny bit. But just in comparison, like that toe is just that itty bitty bitty tiny much longer. Siren. Siren. This was some hand-dyed Jackass Collective yarn that was left over. This purple you might recognize. This is my colorway hydrangea that I dyed on some fingering weight. I believe this is the Drops Baby Merino. They're superwash merino. I was at a local yarn store and I think I was out. Doesn't matter. I tried some new yarn and I dyed up some of my hydrangea colorway on this yarn. If you like these color combos, I do have a little vest, a little pumpkin. I'll put some pictures up here. A little pumpkin knit vest in my shop right now. That was a sample piece that I added to the store because I need to stop hoarding all my knits. But this is the leftover yarn from that. And I lost Yarn Chicken, and I don't know. I think I have enough. I know I have the green toe and cuff. I know I have enough for the heel. So I think I'm just gonna grab another purple fingering weight yarn. I'm sure I have some somewhere and just do, I don't have any of this neon green anymore, but I could recreate this sock with another purple main part of the sock and just have like a cute intentionally mismatched pair, and I think that'll get me an 8 out of 10 when I do finally finish this. Right now I guess it's a 4 out of 10 because I only have one. Did not mention the pattern, my apologies. This is the Unapologetic Knitter, my favorite vanilla socks. I believe this is actually the Extranilla Socks. My favorite vanilla socks is just it's a vanilla sock. There's no contrast color information, but the Extranilla, like vanilla, but Extranilla socks have instructions for color changes for the contrast cuff, heel, toe. These will be linked down below. I believe these were free, and I love these patterns. This pattern helped me learn how to knit socks, so that's cool. Like I said, 8 out of 10, but it's a 4 out of 10 until I finish the other one. Next, we have some Halloween socks, and do you recognize this blue? This is that same Bramwell yarn, this blue. I love it so much. I believe I held it, yeah, this is just a single strand here. So I'm working fingering weight socks. These are the Extranilla Socks, and these are on 2.75 millimeter needles. I don't like knitting on 2.5 millimeter needles, so if I'm doing a fingering weight sock, it's 2.75. 2.5 is it's too little, it's too tight. I just prefer that extra 0.25 millimeters apparently. This is the Hobie Halloween sock wool. It's a superwash wool. I love this I love it. It's self-striping, but it's not a traditional like inch stripe, like it's a little chaotic. There's like the variegated stripe sections. There's the tiny little like 2 rows of the purple. I just love this sock wool. And this again is the Extranilla sock. I've worn these socks more than any other socks. I also used to wear these in the spring a lot. Just the length of these is perfect for a little spring sock, peeking out of my open toe sandals. I've worn these to death, and these are my least pilled socks, which is crazy because I wore them like a mad woman all spring. I'm thoroughly impressed with the Hobie sock yarn, specifically the Halloween ones. I asked my mom for some for Christmas actually. I sent her the link a while ago and I was like, hey, just, you know, let Santa know that this is on my list. And while she bought the Hobie Halloween yarn, she bought herself that Christmas sock yarn, which we talked about in winter knitting plans, I think. So I'm excited to knit up that Christmas yarn and see how it works up. I love the sock wool. I know it's not gonna break when she washes it like the damn superwash merino. Anyways, I think these are probably like a 9.5 out of 10. I love them so much. And like, I guess I should show you the pilling of these. Pilling is just when, you know, tiny, tiny, tiny little strands of the fiber snap with wear. That's how it is. And then from, you know, the agitation, they kind of like clump together and pill. That's why there's those little balls of fiber. And you can shave them off, you can pull them off. But there's not a lot of pilling on there, y'all. Like, I just love this sock yarn. 9.5 out of 10. Okay, this is good chronological order. This was recent. So, this was my first time working with black yarn, and I didn't love it. Didn't hate it, but I also didn't love it. This is, the black is Patton's Croy. This variegated purples, greens, little splotches of red is some JackassCollective sock yarn. This is my colorway. Why are we driving like that? I'm speaking. This is some Terrified JackassCollective sock yarn. I believe there is a couple skeins of this in the shop. Yep, I see two. I see two. This would make a great gift for the spooky bitch in your life. I love knitting up my own hand-dyed yarn, which sounds like very Leo behavior of me, but it's just really neat to see how my dyeing works up. And like, obviously I see it when you guys tag me and stuff that you've knit with my yarns, which I love seeing what you make, by the way. But it's crazy to see it work up in real time. And these are the Extranilla Socks again. I'm pretty sure I'm just knitting a sock out of my brain at this point. 80% BFL. BFL is one of my favorite breeds of sheep, but specifically for socks. I love it. And 20% nylon. Love this. 9 out of 10. Next we have, I love these socks. Next we have, this is the Frankie's Knitted Stuff walking socks. These are I'm looking at the pattern right now, thick DK or thin Aran weight yarn. This is a size, it recommends 4 millimeters and 5 millimeters. So these are a bulky sock. Bitch, these socks do not fuck around, and I love them so much. I believe I knit these on 4 millimeter only. It recommends, I didn't follow this pattern entirely because I think they do a ribbing or like a slip stitch, something for the foot. It was just overcomplicating a sock, and I just didn't do that. I was just following the pattern for the numbers of a bulkier weight sock. I had never knit one before. This yarn, I love it. This is Judith's hand spun yarn, and where did I, oh, Bad Anna's. Again, Bad Anna's, my favorite yarn store, local yarn store. I'm gonna link them down below. They have tons of local dyers. They've got some beautiful stuff. Check them out. This is Judith's hand spun yarn, and it is like a self-striping marled yarn. This blue, this like deep midnight blue, there is some yellowy oranges, there's some more pumpkin oranges, there's like this berry inky wine type color, and then like a bubblegum pink. And they kind of like, so this is a 2-ply yarn. 1 ply is entirely the blue, and then the 2nd ply is the colors, the alternating colors, and then plied together they give you this magic. I love it. This wool reminds me of like Spin Cycle, that kind of stuff, like dyed in the wool type of yarn. And these socks are a 10 out of 10. You might look at them and be like, Jordan, I don't get it. I love these socks. When I wear these socks, I feel so connected to all the people before me that have spun yarn for socks, that have knit socks. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. These socks make me feel things, and I love them, and they're a 10 out of 10. Frankie's Knitted Stuff walking socks. Judith's hand spun yarn. Name a more iconic duo. Name a more iconic duo. Love these. These last two socks, I cast them on, like, I think I knit one. I think I knit this sock and then knit one of these and then knit the other one and then knit the other one. Sometimes I do that just to keep the brain happy. But again, this is the walking socks pattern, Frankie's Knitted Stuff. These are like big, thick, cozy, chunky. This is a thicker DK weight yarn, and the cuff color is JackassCollective. This is Feral. You know Feral. Obviously different saturations, different formulas that I used, but this is the same dye. It's got that pinky, purpley, rich, inky goodness that I go feral for. That's why it's called that. The main body of the sock is JAC Alien, bitch. This is one of my favorite yarns I've ever dyed, I think. There is some periwinkles, some kind of muted purples, some pinkies. There's that neon green throughout. Like, there's just so much color going on here, and it's just, oh, I love it. There is one skein of this in the shop, and I don't like superwash merino, but I have one skein of Alien on a superwash merino sock yarn, and I'm gonna link that down below if you want to knit up your own pair of a fingering weight Alien sock. I love this color combo. It will be a staple in the shop once I figure my shit out. That's future plans, 2025 plans. Right now I'm furnishing. Last but not least, same pattern again. Frankie's Knitted Stuff walking socks. This again is that same dye, but I was playing around with kind of saturation. I was playing around with formulas for this, and I dyed like 4 skeins of worsted weight yarn. This is a worsted weight, and I was trying to do math and kind of figure things out, just experimenting. Didn't film it because it was super boring, but I was just playing around with saturation. Literally not exciting at all. But pinky purples, love. I feel like they're like a little bit more, they just look a tiny bit washed out on camera is all. I'm just like flopping these around. Just relax. Same pattern. You can see right there, I think, this row here, there's some slip stitches by accident because in the pattern, it's knit rib, 2x2, stockinette, leg, heel turn, and then, or gusset, and then the heel turn, they start slip stitching for the foot. So it gives it some texture. I didn't want to do that, but yeah, I only did it on this one by accident. I was just following the pattern mindlessly, and then a couple rows in, I'm like, oh, I slip stitched that row. Didn't mean to, but you literally cannot tell. So I just love this color. I love it. I'm gonna say 8 out of 10. I don't know. They're obviously, I love them. The yarn's great. Love the pattern. I just struggle. I love doing a contrast detail because it just gives my brain something to, it's just something to watch work up differently, whereas just one color, like one variegated kind of color, it's less stimulating to watch work up, I think, is what it comes down to. And like, even when I'm working a variegated yarn like this, like you're watching the blues or the periwinkles start to spiral, and you're seeing the greens shift placement, and it's very hypnotizing, honestly, to see how the colors are working up. And then there's just nothing to look at here, really. It's a beautiful color, but it's less stimulating, so 8 out of 10. And that was my first year of knitting socks. And you might argue, Jordan, that's a lot of socks. And to that I say, what about it? I have super cold feet, like medically cold feet, bad circulation cold feet. So I will be wearing these. I wear them all the time. And it was cool to learn a new skill that I love and that's very useful. And now everyone in my life is like, socks? Can I have? And I'm like, no, my mom only. Here's all my babies. I feel like a proud mom holding all these. I love them. What can I say? I love knitting a sock. And I think that's all for today. I'm gonna drop all of these. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me yap, as per usual. Check out all the links down in the description. I'm gonna have the patterns, the yarn stores, everything is linked down below. My store is also linked down below. It's a great way to support my silly little art, and it lets me keep doing the damn thing that I'm doing. So appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching, and hope you have a good rest of your day, night, evening, morning, whatever the hell, wherever you are. Bye.